It is not recommended to have a septic line directly above the main electrical panel for several reasons, primarily concerning safety and potential damage. Septic lines carry wastewater, which inherently contains harmful bacteria, pathogens, and other contaminants. If a leak were to occur in the septic line situated above the electrical panel, this wastewater could directly contaminate the panel's components. This contamination poses a significant electrical hazard. Water, especially contaminated water, is a conductor of electricity. If wastewater enters the electrical panel, it can create short circuits, ground faults, and other electrical malfunctions. These malfunctions can lead to electrical shocks, fires, and damage to electrical appliances and the building's wiring. Moreover, the presence of bacteria and contaminants within the electrical panel can accelerate corrosion of metal components, further compromising the panel's integrity and lifespan. The weight of a septic line and its contents is also a factor to consider. Septic lines, particularly when full, can be quite heavy. The weight from the septic line could potentially damage the electrical panel over time. Electrical panels are designed to withstand certain loads, but the added weight of a septic line could exceed these limits, causing physical stress and deformation of the panel's enclosure or internal components. This damage could lead to loose connections, compromised insulation, and other electrical problems. Electrical codes and regulations, such as the National Electrical Code, typically address the placement of electrical equipment in relation to potential hazards. While the NEC may not explicitly prohibit a septic line directly above an electrical panel, it generally requires electrical equipment to be protected from physical damage and environmental hazards. The presence of a septic line introduces a significant environmental hazard due to the potential for leaks and contamination. Therefore, installing an electrical panel directly beneath the septic line would likely violate the intent, if not the letter, of these codes. From a practical standpoint, the close proximity of a septic line to an electrical panel can hinder maintenance and repairs. If the electrical panel requires servicing, the presence of the septic line can make it difficult to access the panel safely and efficiently. Plumbers or electricians may be reluctant to work in such conditions due to the risk of exposure to wastewater and the potential for electrical hazards. If the septic line requires repairs or maintenance, the presence of the electrical panel can similarly complicate the process. There is a potential for accidental damage to the electrical panel during plumbing work. To mitigate these risks, it is crucial to maintain adequate separation between plumbing and electrical systems. Electrical panels should be located in dry, accessible areas where they are protected from potential water damage and physical hazards. Plumbing lines, including septic lines, should be routed in a manner that minimizes the risk of leaks or damage to electrical equipment. Building codes often specify minimum clearances between plumbing and electrical installations to ensure safety and prevent interference. If there is an existing situation where a septic line is located directly above an electrical panel, it is advisable to consult with a qualified electrician and plumber to assess the risks and develop a remediation plan. This plan may involve relocating the electrical panel or rerouting the septic line to provide adequate separation and protection. In some cases, it may be necessary to install a physical barrier or shield between the septic line and the electrical panel to prevent contamination in the event of a leak. Regular inspections of both the septic line and the electrical panel are essential to identify and address any potential problems early on. Look for signs of leaks, corrosion, or physical damage. Ensure that all electrical connections are tight and that the panel's enclosure is properly sealed. If any issues are detected, promptly contact qualified professionals to perform the necessary repairs or maintenance. Consider the long-term implications. Even if the septic line and electrical panel are initially installed in compliance with codes and regulations, there is always a risk of future problems. Septic lines can deteriorate over time due to corrosion, root intrusion, or other factors. Electrical panels can also experience wear and tear, especially in harsh environments. By maintaining adequate separation between these systems, you can reduce the likelihood of future conflicts and ensure the ongoing safety and reliability of your home's infrastructure. The location in Lockport, Illinois, like any other municipality, likely adheres to specific building codes and regulations regarding electrical and plumbing installations. It is imperative to consult with local building officials to ensure that any work performed complies with these requirements. Local codes may impose stricter standards than the NEC or other national guidelines, and failure to comply can result in fines, delays, or other penalties. The potential for wastewater leaks poses not only an immediate safety hazard but also a long-term environmental concern. Wastewater contains pollutants that can contaminate soil and groundwater, posing risks to public health and the environment. If a septic line leak occurs above an electrical panel, the wastewater could seep into the surrounding soil, potentially affecting the integrity of the building's foundation and nearby structures. It is essential to address any septic line leaks promptly and thoroughly to prevent further environmental damage. To further enhance safety, consider installing a ground fault circuit interrupter or GFCI circuit breaker to protect the circuits connected to the electrical panel. A GFCI breaker is designed to detect even small imbalances in electrical current and quickly shut off power to the circuit, reducing the risk of electrical shock. GFCI protection is particularly important in areas where water is present, such as near plumbing fixtures. The electrical panel should be properly grounded to provide a safe path for fault current to flow in the event of an electrical problem. Ensure that the grounding system is properly installed and maintained to minimize the risk of electrical shock and equipment damage. Regular inspections of the grounding system are essential to verify its integrity and effectiveness. The electrical panel should be installed in a location that is easily accessible for maintenance and repairs. Avoid placing the panel behind obstructions or in confined spaces where it may be difficult to reach. Clear access to the panel is essential for performing routine inspections, troubleshooting problems, and making necessary repairs. The electrical panel should be protected from physical damage from objects or activities that could potentially damage the panel's enclosure or internal components. Consider installing a physical barrier or shield to protect the panel from accidental impacts or other forms of damage. Ensure that all electrical connections within the panel are properly tightened and secured. Loose connections can create resistance, which can lead to overheating, arcing, and other electrical problems. Periodically inspect the connections to ensure that they remain tight and secure. Label all circuits within the electrical panel clearly and accurately. This will make it easier to identify and troubleshoot problems in the future. Maintain an updated circuit directory that accurately reflects the wiring configuration of the building. Do not overload circuits within the electrical panel. Overloaded circuits can overheat and create a fire hazard. Ensure that the load on each circuit does not exceed the circuit's rated capacity. If necessary, add additional circuits to distribute the load more evenly. Use appropriately sized conductors for all electrical wiring. Undersized conductors can overheat and create a fire hazard. Ensure that the conductors are properly insulated and protected from physical damage. Follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations when performing any electrical work. These codes are designed to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical installations. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, hire a licensed electrician to do the job. A qualified electrician will have the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and correctly. They will also be familiar with local electrical codes and regulations. If you are planning to install a new electrical panel or make significant changes to your electrical system, obtain the necessary permits from your local building department. This will ensure that the work is performed in compliance with applicable codes and regulations. Before starting any electrical work, disconnect power to the circuit or equipment you will be working on. This will prevent electrical shock. Use a voltage tester to verify that the power is off before touching any wires or components. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools, when working on electrical systems. This will help protect you from electrical shock and other hazards. Work in a well-lit area when performing electrical work. This will help you see what you are doing and avoid mistakes. Keep your work area clean and organized. This will help you stay focused and avoid accidents. If you are unsure about anything, ask a qualified electrician for assistance. It is always better to be safe than sorry. By following these safety precautions, you can help prevent electrical shocks, fires, and other hazards. In summary, while it may not be explicitly prohibited in all cases, having a septic line directly above an electrical panel is generally not advisable due to the potential for contamination, damage, and safety hazards. It is essential to maintain adequate separation between plumbing and electrical systems to ensure the safety and reliability of your home's infrastructure. If there is an existing situation where a septic line is located directly above an electrical panel, consult with qualified professionals to assess the risks and develop a remediation plan.